Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Racha Kadash. Forgive me the spirit and power to make this lesson. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that teach this truth in a real will. Wabaraktham unto the hopeful elect, the 144,000, on down to the sincere men, women, and children that do believe. This is the Brother Gabar, back on the lesson. And I don't have an exact title for this, but it's going to be along the lines of not worrying about what we're going to eat, drink, or wear, or any of those things in the time that we're coming into, all right, which is Jacob's trouble. And I say that because I'm going to pull from Matthew chapter 6 and verse 24 in the GNT, starting at 24, because our Lord told us not to worry about what we're going to wear, what we're going to eat, what we're going to drink, because Yahweh, our Father, He already knows, all right? He has already prepared, stuff for us along the way. But you have to trust that, because a lot of people, all right, they're not going to have that faith to where they're going to be able to, in the sight of things, drop everything and, be a pilgrim, right? Because you're not going to have that comfort of buying and selling, because that's going to come along with what? The MOTB. Revelation 13, chapter 15, verse 16 and 17, right? The MOTB, you're going to use that thing to buy and sell the world, all the people in the world, and we're not going to take it. Lord's will I be a part of that number. So in saying that, we know we're not going to be buying and selling. So damn, how we going to eat? How we, what we going to wear? Or, well, our Lord answered that question. And the answer is, don't worry about it. The Father knows that we need to eat and drink to stay alive, and He knows we need clothing. And He's going to take care of all of that. Okay? You have to have your faith at that level. And when you go into the scriptures, all right, like Sirach 2 and 10 says, look at the generation of old. All right, did any trust in the Lord and was confounded? I'll actually pull that right quick. Sirach 2 and 10. All right, because we can't have the spirit of doubt. Damn sure not going into the time of Jacob's trouble. Sirach 2 and 10. Look at the generation of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in His fear? Right, it's all about abiding in His fear. Or did any abide in His fear and was forsaken? Right, and that's what we're doing. We're abiding in His fear. So we're not going to be forsaken. Or whom did He ever despise that called upon Him? Exactly, but not just calling upon Him, but calling upon Him with faith and fear mixed together. Because everybody going to call upon God, the Most High. Some people going to have the names Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, but He's not going to answer. So it's not just calling upon Him, but it's what? But it's having those works to back up your faith. But the point is, it says, look at the generation of old. Okay, let's grab two quick examples. This is 1 Kings chapter 17 in verse... I'm going to just go straight to the point, not to make this too long. 1 Kings chapter 17. Matter of fact, I have to start at verse 1. 1 Kings 17 and 1. And Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants of Gilead, said unto Ahab, as the Lord Yahweh, power of Israel liveth, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, but according to my word. Right, so a plague of drought will come. Okay, but how was the Lord man gonna eat? Let's read. And the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto him, saying, get thee hence and turn thee eastward and hide thyself by the brook Cherith, that is before Jordan. And it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed thee there, right? So the Lord can use birds, animals to feed us. All right, he did it before. This is a generation of old. Okay, he did it before with Elijah. He's gonna do it again with us, man. All kind of miraculous miracles are gonna happen. You could just come across some food. Somebody could just give you food, or the Lord could command animals to give you food, or he can make manna rain down. That happened in the wilderness. Let's not forget that example. You know, that was a great example. You know, the manna and the quail, but the manna, you know, it says, so he went, First Kings 17:5. So he went and did according unto the word of the Lord Yahweh, for he went and dwelt by the brook of Cherith, that is before Jordan. All right, and I want to keep reading because it's going to show you how many times the Lord fed him a day. All right, because is it like, oh, well, are you gonna get it one time and that's it, or you know, was it just the birds came one time and that was it? Nah, man. He was fed daily. Verse 6. And ravens are very smart birds, but the Lord put the spirit on them. He commanded them to do this. And the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank of the brook. Okay? So we're gonna be looking forward to the Lord sending that bread and flesh in the morning and bread and flesh in the evening, man. 2 times a day, and have all the water we need, all the utensils we need for our livelihood. The Lord knows, okay, as I'm gonna read in Matthew, but I want to grab that, okay. Also, I want to grab what happened with Daniel. Give me 1 second. Let me pull that up. Bear with me. So we don't need to fear. Okay, um we don't need to be in doubt of how this gonna happen or how that's gonna happen, because the Lord is gonna take care of that. You know, we don't need a bunker. We don't need all this food stored up and this and that. The Lord is gonna take care of all of our needs. Okay. Let me grab this right here with Daniel. If I can find it, man. If it takes too long, then you know. Let me see. Okay, I just can't find it right now. Salakia. But yeah, basically the Lord sent the angel to have a brother, you know, go feed Daniel in the lion's den. But the way he did it was he instant transmitted him. He teleported him there. Okay, when you read. All right, so that's another example. So we got plenty of examples, man, you know, of how the Lord came through, all right, and fed us. Okay, now I'm gonna read this, and this probably be it. I'll close it off. Matthew chapter 6, starting verse 24 in the GNT. It says, "You cannot be a slave of 2 masters. You will hate one and love the other." Right, and we're slaves, we're prisoners to Yahweh Bahashim Al-Shai. "You will hate one and love the other. You will be loyal to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money." Right, you can't pitch all of your time and attention to both at the same time, just one. Okay, this is why I tell you, do not be worried about the food and drink you need in order to stay alive. Right, because the Lord's going to give it to you. He's going to give you that water from that brook. He's going to give you the bread and flesh from the ravens. And in whatever situation you in, have him. He may do it. We don't know exactly what, you know, the raven going to come at this time. We don't know exactly, all right, to the T exactly what's going to happen, but we know the Lord is going to work a miracle. We know that that's going to happen. And we know that we got to have faith, all right? So that we're not in fear and doubt, all right, when that time come. To what? To then be shaky and wavery and fall apart and take the MOTB, man. Because, I don't know, you know? Nah, man. All right, the Lord is going to be with us, all right, to give us what we need. It says, this is why I tell you, do not be worried about the food and drink you need in order to stay alive, or about clothes for your body. Right. And in the wilderness, what happened? In the wilderness, the Lord put the Spirit on our garments, all right, that they wax not old. All right. I grabbed that right quick. The Lord can do that in this time. And he put the Spirit on our feet in the wilderness, that they wasn't, all fucked up, and pain and sore while we was walking around that time. Deuteronomy 29:5, and I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your clothes are not waxing old upon you, and thy shoe is not waxing old upon thy foot. And I get that, let's get that in a different version as well. So Deuteronomy 8:4. Well, that's another one where it says it. Okay. Matter of fact, it says you can read it. All right, in the MSG version, Deuteronomy 29, starting verse 5 through verse 6 in the MSG. I took you through the wilderness for 40 years, and through all that time, the clothes on your backs didn't wear out. The sandals on your feet didn't wear out. And you live well without bread and wine and beer, proving to you that I am, in fact, the Most High, your God, all right, your power. Okay? So that's the point. All right? The Lord can do that again. All right? The Lord will do that again. Okay? And through all that time, the clothes on your backs didn't wear out. Right. So how, you going, let's say you flee, and then what? You flee, all right, and then your garments, all right, they're not all messed up. Though you're a pilgrim, you're moving around, but the Lord got it to where you good. You ain't got holes at the bottom of your shoes because you walking around and your garments all tore up and dingy and they smelly and this and that. Nah, it look like you wearing brand new clothes. Still, the Lord can do that, man. This is the power we serve, man. Anything. Okay. And it says, clothes on your back didn't wear out. The sandals on your feet didn't wear out. Woo. They didn't. It's not gonna wear out, man. The Lord gonna be with you, and He gonna be sustaining you with food and water, food and drink. Okay. So this is the things we gotta hope for. These things happened back then. They're gonna happen again. Let me see if 8:4 says something. Deuteronomy chapter 8:4 in the MSG or the GNT. It says, during these 40 years, your clothes have not worn out, nor have your feet swollen up. Right. So not only did our sandals not wear out, but proving the point that I said, all right, not only did our sandals not wear out, but our feet didn't swell up. We was good. The Lord put the Spirit on our feet to be straight, to be good. He gave us that healing, He had that special Spirit on us. Also, on our sandals, on our shoes, also on our garments. You think the Lord ain't gonna do that again? Come on, man. So what you got to fear, man? You ain't got nothing to fear. Okay. Now let's go back. This is why Yahweh was saying that. Don't worry about it, man. Look at the generations of old. Come on now. We good. Back in Matthew chapter 6 and verse 25 in the GNT. This is why I tell you, do not be worried about the food and drink you need in order to stay alive, or about clothes for your body. After all, isn't life worth more than food? And isn't the body worth more than clothes? Right. Look at the birds. They do not plant seeds, gather a harvest, and put it in barns, yet your Father in heaven takes care of them, right? The birds are taken care of, all these animals are taken care of, man. It says, aren't you worth much more than birds? Right. So if the Lord is taking care of them so wonderfully, all right, they're eating day in, day out. All right. You think you're not going to be taken care of? The one that does the will of the Lord. You fear the Lord, you know? So we gotta make sure we don't have that doubt in us. Okay. And these scriptures are here, all right, to give us that faith, to give us that comfort. Look what he did here. Look what he did there. Look what he did for us in the wilderness. You know, it says, verse 27, can any of you live a bit longer by worrying about it? Right. So it ain't doing no good for you to be worried about these things. Oh, this guy, oh, I'm gonna store up this water, and then, you know, I hope I gotta be here when it go down, because I gotta get to here. Don't worry about it, okay? Now, if you want to pit back a little water or food or something, that's cool, but you gotta have your faith in Yahweh Shema Shah, not in anything on earth, okay? Because only the Lord is going to get us through this. He's going to have to put the Spirit on us to get through this anyway. All right. Verse 28. And why worry about clothes? Look how the wildflowers grow. They do not work or make clothes for themselves. But I tell you that not even King Solomon with all his wealth had clothes as beautiful as one of these flowers. It is Yahweh who clothes the wild grass that is here today and gone tomorrow, burned up in the oven. Won't he be all the more sure to clothe you? What little faith you have, right? Okay. It reads verse 31. So do not start worrying, where will my food come from, or my drink, or my clothes, right? Don't worry about all of that, man. The Lord is going to provide, okay? Oh, you little of faith, have faith. Don't you believe in the Lord? Don't you believe you're an Israelite? Don't you believe what he did for us in the wilderness? All right, and our forefathers and foremothers at different times? We good. Just like the one where the Lord gave them that oil, all right, and it basically kept on, you know, making itself, you know. And I don't want to make this too long, but